Rio.
Wagwan people, like and subscribe to Anfield Uncle Rod's channel. Show some love, you never walk alone.
Yes, people, big up, big up, big up, big up. Jeez. Yeah, big up, love and respect, reaching out to everybody, and thank you for joining me this evening. Let me push this back up. Yeah, thank you for joining me for this evening show. Love and respect to everybody. Yeah, so you know what to do when I get round there. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And also, as well, let me just take this bit off. Comment section. Take that bit off there for the time being. Yeah, so so you know what to do when you come around there. When I come around there, please like and subscribe to the channel. Like and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, man, I hit the notification bell while we're at it. That's right. This evening, we're going to take a look at 3 videos. Okay, just push this up a bit. I'm trying to get these things sorted. Yeah, so this evening, we're going to take a look at 3 videos. And the 3 videos we're going to take a look at is LB getting cooked by Deji and getting cooked by Wolfie. One is Tottenham fan and the Nottingham Forest fan, respectfully. So he's getting cooked by them. Also, we're going to take a look at a video where what's the other video? I'm going to put this back on again. We're going to take a look at a video with Wolfie cooking, trying to cook Liverpool fans. Wolfie trying to cook Liverpool fans on saying to us about sort of like we're not a big pull anymore. And then we're going to look at Lee versus Egal. We're going to take a look at that. So buckle up, guys, buckle up. We shall react to that. Okay. Big up Steve in the building. Steve's in the building. He says, let's go, chance. Big up your chest, Steve. You know, it's maximum respect reaching out to you. Big up, big up. Yeah, so you know, it's maximum respect reaching out to you. Okay, let's have a look at these videos, man. Let's have a look at these videos. They are funny, I'm telling you. They are funny. All right, we're gonna pick it up with Deji. Deji gonna start the cooking of LB. You know what? It comes to something, yeah, when you're getting cooked, right, by a bloody Tottenham fan. I mean, not good. Not good. Shoot them down, man. What happened to you? Yeah, so it's like comes to something when you're getting cooked by one of these fans. Do you know what I mean? Like a Tottenham fan. And most of all, I'm not a Forest fan. Do you know what I mean? Come on now. All right, let's pick it up with Deji, and he's starting the cooking. Let's pick it up.
Yeah, no, I wanted to say, Potts, and to my fellow panelists, it's first and foremost good to see you all. LB, I sang to you early in the season. It was one of my favorite Boys to Men tune. It was called End of the Road. Yeah. And I actually said that you belong to me and I belong to you. Mate, after that, mate.
You know what, yeah? What are you doing, yeah? Singing to man. We are sing to man for what happened to the bomb buckler, do you, brother? We are sing to man for pause. Sing it to man, you know. You open up saying, I was singing to you. You belong to me and I belong to you. What the fuck? Get out of here, man. Oh, give me 1 second. I'll come back just now. Come back just now. Come back just now. Hold on, I come. I'm coming. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I just had to go and help Pops and that, you know what I mean? Because you know how things go. So I have to go back again, but like in the meantime, here we go. Yeah, you're singing to man. What's going on, man? What's going on with you? What is going on with you? Yeah, man. What's my Steve saying? Steve, you're not easy there. The B-boy singing love songs to each other of pure madness and the LGBT. Jesus Christ. Ay, ay, ay. Yo. That's mad. It's mad. It's a madness, bro. Right. So, here what happened. Here what happened. Let's carry on with this thing here. Let's carry on with this thing.
We saw your team lose 9 games this season. And I had the unfortunate situation where I had to sit down and listen to you drone on about how your club was going to be back and how you were going to win the FA Cup. But you can't beat Southampton, blood. And then...
You know what, though? To be funny, right? Not being funny, Deji. Your team's sitting in 17th, bro. Your team's sitting in 17th. So I can only think you're in a position to talk about clubs losing this and clubs losing that. You're sitting in 17th. Yeah. God, what's Steve saying? Steve saying, I love you. I love you a long time. I love you a long time, Uncle Rod. $5. Can I take that, brother? Stop that. That's what I'm saying. If Spurs win the Europa League, that you will be unbearable. Yeah, do you know what I mean? But I would rather them win the Europa League than Man United win it, to be honest. I want Man United in the mud, bro. I want them in the mud. I want them in 16th place and not to win anything. You know what I mean? But you're chatting off your mouth. So yeah, he'd be unbearable, but I rather them Man to win it than Man United. Trust. And Steve also says he was Attila want Attila want Michael Evans. Yeah, I heard about that. Okay. Right, let's do some more, man. Let's do some more.
Your team put up that pathetic performance against Crystal Palace. So in the end, I asked you a legitimate question. Should Spurs win the Europa League, who would have the better season? Well, it looks like my club. You're here languishing and hoping you will get.
I hate when he says that, you know, my club. Nobody talks like that, bro. Nobody talks like my club. Look what a numbskull. Yeah, when you go Thailand, the working girls say, I love you long time, $5. I know I heard. So I hear, you know, I ain't been Thailand myself, but I heard about the shenanigans that goes down there. Yeah. Mustafa. Bayern's our favourites for votes. I still think he goes Bayern over Liverpool and City. I don't know, you know, because they don't want to sell to Bayern. That's the thing about it. That's why they're saying that we could be in with a chance. Because as far as I know, they don't want to sell to Bayern. Yes. Steve Trudon. What's this now? I guess Trudon. Mustafi, good evening. Oh, big up, Mustafi. Right, let's play some more of this thing here. Wildfire.
A Champions League spot. LB, welcome to my side of the fence, mate. Welcome to the mud. Where was all that bum shaking? Where was your club? Mate, we weren't going to win the league this season, but we know we're going to win a trophy. Shut your mouth. I told you.
You know what it is, yeah, Deji. And the only person a bum shakes is you, mate, but you're singing to man. What you chatting about?
Pep is done. What say you now? What happened to your manager? Did he give it over to the Egal?
Look at Deji getting all hype, but he's looking idiot team, brother. He's getting all hype. Oh, he's an idiot little team, man. Look at team at the day. Look at team like Tottenham and they ain't won nothing since Jesus was in short pants, man. And you want to get hype because like Man City at the day, what? They lost the final. So fucking what? So what? They lost the final to Crystal Palace. You know what? Because you know what? At the end of the day, Deji, at the end of the day, Wolfie, Man City were there. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a Man City fan. I don't like Man City. But you have to give credit where credit's due. They were there. You lost it? Fair enough. You know what I mean? But don't go like your clubs are bigger and better than anybody because Spurs will be lucky at the day they had to have their manager next year. Next season, they'll probably be searching for a new manager. You know what I mean? Because I think at the day with man's like Postecoglou, I think at the day he's gonna go. If he wins this thing, I think he's gonna go. He's just gonna say, "Yeah, I'll see you later." You know what I mean? He ain't gonna wait to be pushed out.
Did he not want to win? What happened to your trophy, blood? Yes, LB. Welcome to a season where you were trophyless. Welcome. As for everyone on the panel, and let me tell you about your guy, Mamouche. Yeah.
Mamouche, you know? Mamouche. Hold on. Let me get to the chat. I don't really want the chat to go around. Mustafi says, let's hope City lose today against Bournemouth. That will be a thing, wouldn't it? That will be a thing. I don't think they will. Worst case scenario, they'll probably draw. Mustafa, that's from Steve. Okay, I don't think they would. I don't think at the end of the day they're gonna sort of that thing, you know. I don't think they'll lose. I don't think they'll lose.
Yeah? Well, it's a Lebanese restaurant in Park Royal, bruv. Nowhere to be seen. Nowhere. Yeah? Mamouche, Lebanese restaurant in Park Royal. It's bloody good. Yeah?
You know what it is about LB, not LB, Deji, what I noticed about him? He's a fraud, you know. He's fraudulent, man. He's fraudulent. How you can have so much chest and so much mouth, right, when you support Tottenham, when you support Spurs? I don't know how you can have so much thing. Do you know what I mean? He'll get to that. Obviously, LB will get to that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, right. And Spurs, bro. Spurs. You know what I mean? The day at the end of the day, I get cooked. As a Liverpool fan, the day at the end of the day, I allow a Tottenham fan to cook me on anything. Is the day I give up this stream, man. That's why when we had that game against sort of like we had a game against Tottenham a couple of seasons ago where we had all those bad decisions in one game, and they all tried to come for me. I just ripped into a lot of them. There's a lot of them now don't even talk to me because of that day, and I ripped into a lot of them. Do you know what I mean? I ain't gonna allow them to allow them to cook me. You're mad. I had to tell them about themselves, and then I tell them that they're relevant FC, bro. Enough of them don't even talk to me now, you know. I had a group where I had a couple of Spurs fans in there. They all come out after that cooking, after I just give it to all of them. Do you know what I mean?
You were thinking your bad. Well, we got this player, we got that player. Where were they? Yeah? You got popped. You got whacked up by Palace. Yeah? That's what happened. LB, don't ever talk to me again. That's why you don't invite me to your show. Don't ever talk to me again.
You know, if I was LB, I wouldn't want to talk to him again. I don't want to talk to him again, man. Yeah, man, going on like he's something official. Hold on. Yeah, man, no man's going on like something official to Rotted. You know what I mean? You're not official, bro.
You are rubbish. Titanic. Crap. That's why I called you Plymouth Argyle, bruv. What is the difference between you and Plymouth? The difference is you're on here because of your ownness. It would have been enough.
That's a bit of a shit statement, bro. Breaking news. I'm monitoring a Ferrari at my local dealership. Stop that. Steve says, breaking news, cheap broke FSG monitoring players. Yeah. Always seem to see something like that, you know what I mean? Uncle Roz, no fan can cook my real LFC fan. Why? We are 20x England, 20 times England champions, 6-time European royalty, and we are the big dogs of the English footy. Yeah, of course we are. You know what I mean? Always tell these numbskulls that. I mean, get you, Anton, Fozzie, and me, Stephen and me on these channels, and we will spit roast these lads. They can't chat to me, brother. They can't chat to me, man. I gotta harass them up, brother. I harass them up. They can't chat to me. Let's get rid of that and put back on again. Right. So let's put some a bit more of this thing here.
A fella. That is the truth. It would have been another fella, mate. You're on air you're on air by chance. That is the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. Let me tell you now, you're done. It was the end of the road earlier. It's the end of the road now. I told you, and let me tell you why I'm so pissed off with you, LP. I said,
Do you know what makes me laugh of that? Yeah, is if like next season, right? 1 second, guys. 1 second. 1 second, guys. Give me a minute, yeah? Give me a couple of minutes. Hi, folks. Back. No, I had to. Obviously, then what is my dad's is blind, so he needs helping around the house. If he needs to go to the toilet and so forth, I got to help him around the house. That's why I had to go. Anyway, right. Let's see what these numbskulls are saying. Okay. And more. Right. Let's see what these numbskulls are saying now. Oh, these numbskulls.
I saw cracks in your team and you poo-pooed it like I was talking nonsense. In fact, you treated me like I was delusional. Who is delusional now? Did you think you were going to beat Palace?
He said something about he treated me like I was chatting poo-poo. You treated me like I was delusional. Maybe because those two things are true. Yo, Deji. And I've seen that one really. Deji.
I warned you. How comes I saw what you didn't? Yeah, your manager getting vexed. Let me tell you now, peeps. City, Plymouth is done. Your guy Pep done. I told you he's come to the end of his cycle. You can hold that, and hold that.
Deji, big up to you, bro. Look, before I bring LB back in, because he's clearly going to have something to say on that. Wolfie, what you got for LB, man? Because, LB likes to cook, and now it's our time to cook. He's cooked Arsenal enough times, cooked Forest enough times. City finally going to finish in a position they really did not expect at the start of this season. Talk to me, Wolfie.
I mean, it's hard to argue what Deji said. He's just spitted facts everywhere. LB was there telling me after they knocked us out the semis that they've won it. They roll over Crystal Palace, that this trophy saves their season, that they spent in January. Let's not forget they spent in January to try and salvage their season. 200 odd million to salvage your season. Get receipts, man.
I can't understand why Wolfie is talking, to be honest. Now, real talk, I can't understand why Wolfie's talking. Now, to be fair, at the day, right, you've had 2 seasons, in the Premiership. Your first season didn't go too well, but your second season is going well. Does that give you the authority to start talking about other teams? Do you know what I mean? If they beat you in the semi-finals, that means that then they got bragging rights over you still. Naturally going to say that. If you was in the same place as them and you beat City in the semi-finals, you'd be saying the same thing. You understand? So, to me, at the end of the day, I don't know why Wolfie is popped up at the end of the day on all these channels like Dan Potts, Football Terrace. I think he's on Judgment as well. He's popping up and talking. And I think to myself, well, brother, it took you 23 years. Imagine that. It took you 23 years to get back in the top flight. You started in the top flight, right? And your first season was not great. You know what I mean? It's not great. Your second season was better. Do you know what I mean? You're completing. You understand me? You're completing in what you're doing. You understand what I'm saying? I get that, right? But please, right? Don't make it look like, you know what I mean, that you're like some big bollocks now, because you're not, brother. Let's get back to this. Let's get back to this still. Let's get back to this.
Because you took one of my Arab brothers, man, Omar Marmoush, and your boy 007 Hoyland, might as well be Hoyland, might as well be Hoyland, didn't have the balls to take the penalty. Everyone's there thinking it's instructions from Pep. No, it's 007. He's too scared to shoot and gives it to an Arab, man. What was he thinking, man? Deji saying Park Royal. I say, yeah, he's been downgraded to Park Royal because the proper Arabs would be on Edgware Road, mate. not on Park Royal, man.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the thing here. And to give it to Marmoush, man, and you just know a man who does a straight run up to start with isn't scoring a penalty. And then to sit there and try and blame Dean Henderson for all the problems, like it's Dean Henderson's fault he didn't get sent off. You couldn't create anything, man. It was sideways, sideways, sideways. Kevin De Bruyne, man, you should have retired him last year. He is done. That was one of the worst passing performances I've seen, man. Atrocious. Atrocious. The fact is, they tell us they're relying on Rodri, man. When what you've been relying on in the last 2 to 3 months is the Chelsea reject who has held your midfield together. And yet again, you lose a player and we see the cracks come through, man. You said here last week, I said to you, you must, not just for your sake, but the sake of the teams around us, even though we wanted Palace to win. And you said, I said, yeah, it's done. It's done. He is done. Pep, I can't argue Deji because the facts present themselves and logic has to dictate that Pep is done. And how he recovers from this, let's just...
I don't think, there's no way I'm thinking, not being funny, there's no way I'm thinking that sort of like Pep is done. You know what I mean? Pep is not done. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and he hasn't had a good season, and we've been through it. We've been through the fact that we haven't had a good season, and we've had to sort of like pick ourselves up again, and you know what I mean, start back. We've had that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think what it will be, it's like to say that Pep is done is you're underestimating this guy. You're underestimating the guy, and you know, as I say, you know, underestimate these people at your own peril. You know what I mean? It could come back to bite you in your backside. You know what I mean? You understand? You know what I mean? You know, it could sort of like it could sort of like I just got a reaction I need to do. Sorry, I just got a message because my friend wants me to do a reaction on this. Okay, I'll take a look at that and I'll do a reaction on it. Trust. Yeah. So to say they're done, and I'm not being funny, what does give a Nottingham Forest fan the authority to talk about who's done and who's not done? Trust me, you know what I mean. If you'd still had Steve Cooper at your frigging club, you might be nowhere, mate. So, boy, I don't know what it is coming to. Ravi says, "Yeah, Rod, I sent you a show to react to. Big up, yeah, cool. I got it. I'll probably do something sometime tomorrow. And there's a watch. I'm doing a watch along tomorrow for the what's it called? For the Man United versus Tottenham tomorrow. I'm doing a watch along for that. So we'll see who shall prevail. Okay, so let's get back to it. No, I don't need to take this off actually. Let's start that one. Right. So let's get back to it.
Just pull out the checkbook. Let's sign another, 200 players. Let's get another 115 charges because we'll just brown envelope the league. They won't pull us up for all the allegations, allegedly, of course. What happens next? What happens next? Liverpool are going to strengthen. Newcastle are going to strengthen. Chelsea are going to strengthen. Arsenal are going to strengthen. Forest are going to strengthen. Spurs will still be shit. But next season, how the hell are you going to win this league with this manager who is spent?
Wow. Listen, Errol, I want to bring you in because you've been smiling. You must like the fact that City have not had the best of seasons. I mean, they've caused you and me some pain in the last few years. You more than me, to be fair. But talk to me, bro, and then I'll bring LB.
The thing isn't there. I don't think Errol should have said much on this one. I don't think Errol should have said anything. If it was me now, I would say, well, I don't need to say anything because we proved our point in the season. We won the league. Simple as that. Do you know what I mean? And done. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think Errol should have commented much on this because we've got nothing to prove. Being a Liverpool fan myself, we got nothing to prove on this with the Man City cooking. It's up to sort of like people like Deji and Nottingham Forest, the Nottingham Forest fan, Wolfie, to sort of like say, well, this, and this, and that, because at the day, look, they got more to prove it than sort of like anybody else. Do you know what I mean? Because you got to think about it. Tottenham's dusty, Spurs is dusty, yeah. Nottingham Forest are like having a good season. You know what I mean? Yeah, just having a good season. You know what I mean? By their own sort of like expectancy. You understand? You know what I mean? So I just want to puff at their chest. So really and truly, it should be up to them at the day to sort of like cook LB. It shouldn't be up to like Liverpool because we've done it. We've done our thing. You know what I mean?
Ian, what are you saying?
Lewis. First names, you know, government names. Just have to address it. Because you know why? Do you know what it is, yeah? You've always been able to stand tall on this show. Stick your chest out and let people know what time it is when it comes to the football hierarchy. And this season, you've lost one cog and the whole thing broke away.
Shots fired.
Now, I hate to be that guy to kind of ramble on about times of past, but I remember when my team, my club, yeah, had issues defensively, and we lost a Van Dijk, we lost a Matic, we lost a Gomez. We practically had lost the entire back.
Please don't start talking like Deji, Errol. Seriously, I rate you, man. I rate you highly, but don't start talking like Deji. Trust me. Yes, yeah.
Forward at one point, and we still in that season end up qualifying for Europe with almost over a game to spare. City are hanging on by a thread, and to compound that pain that you're probably feeling from a dreadful league season, you had one chance in the cup and you couldn't do anything. You give, and I know my team didn't turn up in a cup final in Wembley this season, so I know how it can happen. But Newcastle, which is a team that you shake your pom-poms for on a regular basis on this show, telling me how brilliant they are, that they should be challenging for the Premier League. We're equal to taking Liverpool's title that day. They beat us for the League Cup. That's fine. Crystal Palace have never won a trophy ever. And you went and gave them their first. You and the incredible Manchester City team with the best ever manager in Pep Guardiola have given them their first ever trophy. And what I think is the biggest thing this year is you have been found out, lad. Glasner sticking out his chest in an interview, turning around saying, boy, Pep, if you run that system again next 6 months' time, we'll work it out.
That's very true.
It's light work. You've got managers like Glasner who haven't even been in the door for 5 minutes telling your manager, whatever you do, it's light work and we will figure a way around it because you aren't that team anymore. And you know how long I've waited? And I've said it a couple of times with Potts and with us. A couple of seasons ago, Potts was the frightening team. Boy, Arsenal look like they can play anybody off the park. You need to be careful with them. City have been that constant. Teams, before they get out on the pitch, know more often than not City have got their number and they've probably been beat. That shield, that armour that you've had wrapped around you for a number of years now, that season when it fell away for Liverpool, in the end, the legs fell out of our midfield and everybody smelled blood in the water. That is where you're currently at right now. And I'm not saying for 1 minute that City will not bounce back in the next 6 to 8 months. But while this is the lowest that you've had for...
That is true, that is true. I mean, when we was at our lowest, everybody came for us. Do you know what I mean? Everybody came for us and, you know, had a go at us and this and that. And when we were saying about like, we got injuries and this and that, we just told to get on with it. Do you know what I mean? All that what Errol's saying is true, but I wouldn't have said anything because we've got nothing to prove. You know what I mean?
For a minute, LB, Lewis. I am gonna love every single second of it. Because, brother, you should be doing better, and you know you should be doing better. You've got higher standards.
Yeah, true. Should be doing better. Let me read out these comments, yeah? One of these comments that Ravi sent. Ravi says, Pep has fallen off a bit, and City fans need to accept it's okay. That's their need to rebuild. Yeah, they do. They do. I'm telling you. Let's get rid of these chats. Put that back up again. Right. Okay. Let me fast forward this a little bit. So see when LB comes in. Yeah. You see?
I can accept Errol's criticism.
Bro.
Listen, first of all, I'll start off with Errol.
LB now. LB.
I can accept Errol's criticism because my team has bullied his team for the last 7 years, made his greatest ever Premier League side almost irrelevant, and caused this guy nightmares. So I can.
That's cap. That is cap. That is actually cap. You know what I mean? You've never once at the day made Liverpool even when you got sort of like Pep Guardiola, you've never once made us irrelevant. So that's cap. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because remember at the day, right? Yeah, right. Pep Guardiola has come out and said at the day, right? You know what I mean? His biggest adversary was Klopp. Because remember at the day, we never had the money like you. We never spent the money like you. But yet we can run you down to the wire. Not once, but twice, running down to the wire. And then remember at the day when we won the league in 1920, when we won the league, yeah, we won it by we won it by February. And like Man City was nowhere to be seen. So for anything, we made you guys look irrelevant. You understand what I'm talking about? So, you know what I mean? You need to get it right, LB, mate. That's why you're getting cooked, because you can't get it right, brother. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And like even that time at the day when there was supposed to be that season that when we ran you ragged to the last bit and lost by a point, and we've done that twice, mind you. We've done that twice. So I don't know how you say you can make it. You almost made us irrelevant. That never happened, bro. Yeah. Another thing as well. Yeah. When that season there, Rodri, your best player, your player in the day that you're saying that day that like you that because he's not there, your club's doing shit. You know what I mean? That's what you mans are saying, yeah, right? He hands balls in the area, right? Playing against what's it called? Everton. Everton to get nothing for that, right? Then he got the 115 charges that he got. There's no team in history in the league, in history, right? That's had 115 charges against them, and he's taken the Premiership, right? The FA or whatever it may be, so long to charge them. So long to charge them. They let them get away with this. Let them get away with it years on top of years. So that'll be idiot, man.
Accept a little bit of criticism from Errol, and that's fine. I find it quite amusing that the two most irrelevant teams on this panel have so much chess to say to my football club. Two teams that are good for absolutely nothing, yeah, other than laughing and joking. Both teams are bottlers. You've seen Forest bottle potentially getting top 4 this year. Spurs are just a complete laughing stock, and both.
Right, you see that, man. Man said Spurs are the laughing stock, you know.
For these two guys have chest. Respect to Pete, yeah, Carabao Cup winners sitting there, you know what I mean, waiting for his turn. I'll take the criticism from Pete later. Don't worry about it. I see the respect. From Pete. Yo, Charlie, I see it, bro. You know what I mean? Champions League winner a few years ago. I hear it, man. Going through some pain. Respect. And Dan, my fellow Mancunian, you know what I mean? Like, respect to that as well. Yeah, the two most pointless people on this panel, Wolfie and Deji, have the most to say. Why? Because nothing is going on in their lives right now in football. Yeah, not personally. No, not getting personal. Football-wise, for them to get their chests out. We all know that Spurs are going to get absolutely cooked in the Europa League final. So
actually, I think Spurs beat Man United. I do think Spurs beat Man United. Trust me, I do think they do.
He's just getting the pre-cooking in now, because when he comes on the show after Europa League final, he will be getting absolutely rinsed because his team runs absolutely nothing. We all know that's a formality. And as for Wolfie, yeah, his team's had a good year, but everyone's going to raid your team. You have no players left, and you'll be probably in the bottom half of the table next year as well. So enjoy your 5 minutes of fame, mate. Yeah, it's been good to have you on the show, but next year, you know what I mean? It's probably.
Can I say something there quick, LB? Just again, this is
100%.
not necessarily a criticism, but it goes back to the conversations we had at the start of the season in January. When the transfer window was open, a lot of you lads around this panel beat my team over the head with a stick about Liverpool not capitalising and Liverpool not doing business and not being serious. But Wolfie made
Facts.
an excellent point in the fact that you spent 200 mil.
Facts.
And you haven't even managed to be able to
100,
salvage your
it was
season.
175, so we can't
175. Fuck me, splitting hairs now, isn't he?
just be adding 25 million.
Okay. All right.
A bit fraudulent.
All right. No, you're right. I mean, who am I to, you know what I mean? Don't spend a penny, but 175 M's was spent in January in the pursuit of rescuing and salvaging a season. You didn't even get Kvaratskhelia. None of us did, and he was the one. He was the market opportunity for any of our clubs around this panel. None of us got him. You spent 175 mil, and you still might not even get Champions League footy, and there's no silverware. You have to answer to forget the cooking, forget the roasting. You have to answer to that as an absolute failure. There's no two ways about it, because my team didn't spend a penny, and we rocking VVS's right now.
Guarnero rocking VVS's. Guarnero big HSU. I need to get Aaron on my channel one time, you know, trust me.
It'd be an absolute failure.
And can I just say, like, the cheek of you to try and pick on me and Deji is like a big mistake.
He wasn't picking on you. You lot started on him, mate. What's better with you?
Bro, like, seriously. Because both our clubs were established before 2008. I get you doing this whole recency bias thing. Both our...
You know what? Them thing there, brother.
Clubs can sell out our allocations when we go to Wembley. When they go to...
You let them have it now, bro.
To the Europa League final in Spain on Wednesday, they're not going to have to fly in the sheikhs over from the Middle East to try and fill it up, right? We get that. We get that. But for you to come and talk about recency bias...
Once. It was your big day out, mate.
But for you to talk about recency bias when your club...
Yeah, but there was the LB, what LB's got to understand, yeah, when he talks about big day out and shit, what you got to understand is, like, to be fair, Nottingham Forest has been doing this shit in the day for a long time. You know what I mean? When Nottingham Forest was doing this shit, right, when Man City was struggling to score against Gillingham and them places there. So please, come on now, man. Seriously. Just take your cooking, bro. Just take your cooking and keep it your blood clot mode.
Club's only existed since 2008, where your club has over 115 charges to the name.
Facts.
Where your club is flying out.
Oh,
my Arab brothers.
You are the team that's guilty on this panel, though, right? Out of everybody on this panel,
not true. Not true. I got a speeding ticket. Speeding ticket. I don't go to jail. You don't go to jail for a speeding ticket.
You are convicted criminals. You're the
Okay, no, man. You know what it is as well, right? This is what it is about LB. Take your blood clot cooking and shut your blood clot mode, brother. You know what I mean? You're talking about man's a criminal because you got a speeding ticket. What the fuck's wrong with you? You're stupid or something. You know, no sense. Brother, I talk about man a criminal because you got a speeding ticket. Just because we're talking about your club being a criminals, which they are in the day, right? Because there's been criminal elements in the way that you've won the league, that you've been able to dominate, bro. And what Wolfie's trying to say is that, so we didn't need to do that. We did it organically. Yeah, because we won shit before before you lot. We was doing shit back in the day, man. You and man ain't got no foundation, brother. Your foundation, listen, their man's foundation is struggling to score against Gillingham. That's their foundation. Go sit down, brother. What happened to you?
No, you don't go to jail for a speeding ticket. It doesn't have to go on my TV.
You are the only convicted criminals on this panel as of right now. You are the
lies.
Only convicted.
Speeding tickets.
Not lies. It's not lies. You are a criminal. You are the only criminal on this panel.
Speeding tickets.
What silverware did you win? So actually, yeah, you're criminal.
Yeah, because again, LB, you seem to think football started in 2008. Well, I've got double your Champions Leagues, right? I've got more heritage than you've got. Deji's got more heritage than you got with his club as well.
Enjoy that.
So you stick to your recency.
Which is facts, man. Which is facts. Beer facts, man, with a bum buck out there. All right. Listen, I'm gonna come out of that one. Let's come out of that one. And I'm gonna do the next one, man, because like I think that one at the day is being tried and proven. Tried and proven. All right, let's look at some of these comments there. Let's look at some of these comments before we go to the next one. When we up shit creek every day is gunshot against Liverpool, but we rise up and show our worth. That's fact, my friend. That is fact, my friend. And when City fly kick Liverpool, but nothing happens. Yeah, trust me. You know what I mean? Because we've been there with them, bro. Man, I can't tell me nothing, man. I think extra time Spurs win 2-1. I think they're gonna win. I think Spurs will win. All right, what is the next one? Let's get the next one up. Stop sharing that one. Let us get the next one up. Okay. Yes. Oh yeah, this is the. I don't know what that is. Shit. Right, so let me check out this noise. I don't know where this noise comes from. Yeah, I think I know it's come from next door. Right, man. That's what I'm saying. City got what they had coming in the FA Cup final. Yeah, facts. Right. So it's good. I'm going to present the next one. Next one's Wolfie talking about Liverpool, saying Liverpool ain't got no pull. And this is coming from Never the Foul. Come from them, man. Okay. Right. Okay, let's get this.
You, bruv. Do you see the point? You're scared, not me. Don't stop projecting. Because when City comes back, you're out of the top 4. You was only in this top 4 because they.
So preach. Are you saying that next season, whatever players City get, you're not scared of them? They finish and you finish ahead of them. Is that what you're saying?
That's why I asked, have you watched football? Because have you not heard how Pep talks about Liverpool? Man City players talk about Liverpool. Have you not heard those things?
Emotions jokes. It's like moving in slow motion. Is this for me or is it?
No, he's all right. No, he's right. It's just it came back in Matrix style, man.
Yeah. All right. Who did the 4-peat preach? Was that you or Man City?
No, but listen to what I'm saying. I'm trying to say.
I don't ignore what I'm saying.
City, yeah, they did the 4-peat.
They did the 4-peat.
Right,
so they won it 4 out of the last 5 years, yeah? And you won it this year. I congratulations. I think you won it on merit, but you can't deny the fact. You can't deny the fact that City have had a major fall off this year. Yeah,
I know that's what I'm saying, but you're scared of them because when
the thing is about it, yeah. 4 out of 5 years, and who beat them once to the title in that 4 out of 5 years? In that 5 years, yeah, who beat them in that title? Wasn't it Liverpool? So we're not scared of Man City. We're not scared of Man City, bro. You know what I mean? It's like that's just idiot talk, Wolfie. Do you know what I mean? You want to bring up that? If I was there, I said like, yeah, but who beat them in that 5 years? Who broke that cycle? Was it Liverpool? Wasn't it not Liverpool? I know it wasn't Nottingham Forest. I know it wasn't Man United. I know it wasn't Chelsea. It was us that beat them in that 5-year cycle.
They're back. You're out. We're not out, bro.
I'm not scared of them. They're already ahead of us, bro. What? I don't get your narrative. I don't get your narrative.
Okay, then. Don't worry about it then.
Yeah. So, like, if they're ahead of us, that doesn't impact me. If they're behind you and they're going to overtake you next season, then you should.
Yeah, but how do you know they're going to overtake us then, Wolfie? How do you know that? How do you know they're going to overtake us next season? Do you know what I mean? How do you know what they're going to do next season, bro? Do you know what I mean? If I was you, I'll be more worried about sort of like Man City, yeah, than Liverpool. Worried about Man City because we proved their worth at the end. We proved their worth in 1920. We proved it that we can do it in 1920. Yeah. We proved it again and then day, sort of like in this season and day, right? And they're talking about drop off at the end day, right? Drop off where? What? You lose one player and all of a sudden Man City's not good again because they lost one player. Is that what we're talking about? You're losing one player, so then they're not good again. Do you understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? They should be able. Big bad Man City should be able to cope at the day without one player. It shouldn't affect the whole team. So this thing about Man City's dropped off, that's just bollocks to me. That's rubbish.
Should be the one scared.
But why? With the players they're linked with right now, they shouldn't be scared like that. That's
Yeah, but they're not going to get them. If another of those teams I mentioned, Chelsea, Man U, Arsenal,
nobody's going to Man U. What are you talking about, bro? Ain't nobody going to Man U. And ain't nobody going to Chelsea to sign a death row contract. They ain't going there, bro. Because even when these people are mentioned, yeah, these people are mentioned, right? They ain't mentioning the day that Chelsea. They ain't mentioning Man City. They're mentioning Bayern Munich, yeah. They're mentioning Bayern Munich and mentioning Man City and Liverpool. He doesn't want to go to Bayern Munich, yeah. Well, the club doesn't want him to go Bayern Munich. But he can still go, but the club don't want him to go Bayern Munich, yeah? They'd rather him go overseas because they don't want to strengthen their rivals. They don't want to do that. Because many clubs in the Bundesliga are just been strengthening Bayern Munich. Dortmund's done it. All of them have done it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? Stuttgart and all them man there, yeah? I've been strengthening Bayern Munich. And like even... Oh, I thought someone called me. Even like Bayern Munich done it back in the day with Ballack when they had people like Lucio, Ballack, and all them man there. They had some ballers in the team, yeah. And like, where did Ballack go? The following season that when they've done so well in the Champions League and they got to the final and they got beaten by Real Madrid. Where did he go the following season? That Bayern Munich he got. Dortmund at the day, right? Dortmund lost 2 players at the day to sort of like to Bayern Munich. They lost Goetze and they lost Lewandowski. Do you know what I mean? And 2 of those players at the day, right? Jurgen Klopp cultivated them. Nobody knew about Lewandowski when he was in the Polish league. Nobody knew about him. And then my man brings him in, yeah, right? And makes him into a shutter. And then where's he go? Where's he go? He goes to Bayern Munich. So a lot of clubs don't want to deal with Bayern Munich. Don't want to strengthen Bayern Munich. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they say, "Char, you know what? I'd rather him go overseas." You understand what I'm saying? So take that. You take the fact that they want to go overseas. They ain't mentioning Chelsea. They ain't mentioning Man United. So what you calling them names for, bro? Frimpong at the day, Frimpong, the place that he wanted to go to, he wanted to come to Liverpool. They want us to talk about Chelsea and all them things there. Kirkes wants to come to Liverpool, and now Man City are trying to get involved because they're trying to like, hijack a thing. You understand? So yeah, bro.
City, a link to those same players, I would make Liverpool not favourites to get those players.
But as
Let's be real here.
as it stands, Man City and Bayern Munich are the only two others in for him. Real Madrid pulled out of that situation, so
Yeah.
we can.
So
we can
all right, Cass, let me ask you this: straight shot, right, on Verts. Let's just say it's only Man City and Liverpool. They both offer 100 million. It gets accepted. They both offer him 200k. He's happy with that. Who does he go to?
He goes to Liverpool.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually don't know, because you know what I'm gonna say. I don't.
Yeah, that is like, to me at the end of the day, that's a useless question. That's a useless question he's asking there, right? Because all right, yeah. Let me show you something. Yeah, let me show you something. My brethren showed me today. Yeah? Let me show you something. What my brethren showed me today. Yeah, like when it comes to sort of like when it comes to like Man City and it comes to Chelsea, right? Yeah. They're only a bigger club financially than us. Financially, they've got more money than us. There ain't no doubt about that. We can't sort of like get, excuse me, sorry. Rotted, man. We can't get away from that. We cannot get away from the fact that they sort of like financially they are better than us. Yeah. But like structure-wise and sort of like club-wise, they're not bigger than us. So if at the end of the day, right, you know what I mean, that like we both offer 100 million, yeah, and we both offer them 200k a week. So everything's matching in what is being offered to him, yeah, right? You can't tell me at the end of the day that he's gonna immediately go to Man City. You can't tell me that, because what you're going to look at, then you can look at sort of like, you can look at Liverpool of what they've accomplished: 6 European Cups, 20 titles. Do you know what I mean? FA Cups and this and that, yeah. And then you can look at Man City. Goes, well, yo, they've only got like big fun just the other day. I'm going Liverpool, man. Oh, shame. Let's get them feet. Let's get this in.
Actually knows, because one is, like, as much as I don't like to hear it, is Liverpool are the recent Premier League champions, and two, there's a tailor-made spot just for Verts in that attacking mid spot that would suit him to a T. That's what I think. Anyway,
What about the KDB spot that's opened up at City?
Yeah, but we don't know what.
He hasn't opened up yet, bro. For all you know, and then KDB could be there next season. They ain't opened up yet, bro. And as well, I've heard that Man City's pulled out anyway.
We don't know what Pep's gonna change to as well. Like, he might change something that suits Verts and convinces him as well. But also Frimpong's, like, because we're gonna add this as well. Like, we don't know if Frimpong's his mate in real life or anything. Let's be real. We don't know that. They could just be colleagues, right? But the fact that someone else from that team is also going there could be a big benefactor of why he may choose to go there as well. Might think like, oh, like Frimpong's a good player. I want to go with Frimpong, and I see what they got around him. I'm feeding Salah. Actually, it's weird because a lot of your signings, and even Ekatike right now is your top striker on the list that you're looking to go for. It's like you're shopping in the Bundesliga, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that might be the place to go this summer.
Yeah, but Bundesliga's got some good players in there. Didn't sort of like recently in the day, right? Right? Things done the same thing. Man City done the same thing. Leroy Sané, Guardiola, Mamouche. All those 3 players came from the Bundesliga, so
it might be, but I'm just saying they'll be going places where they'll be getting players that no one else is in on.
Cam, how many people wanted Szoboszlai in their team 2 seasons ago?
Including Man United and including Man City.
I still wouldn't want him now.
And yeah, he wins. He helped us win the Premier. You get me? He's a Premiership.
Yeah,
champion.
but it'd be a good option. The thing is, good squad option, regardless whether I like him or not. It's a good squad option. The whole point is building your squad up. I feel like, you know what is Wolfie, yeah. the difference between last year, the year before, and that is the fact that Michael Edwards was in charge running all that business.
I don't think it's that, but I see your point.
And then
That
now,
was my last.
now we called him the transfer guru for a bit of a reason, and I think things do change. Like I think because we can only go off data of recent of a certain team, that's where we go back to because that's all we rely upon. But I feel like right now with Liverpool not making no major transfer last year, like not one, crazy, you can't really count that. And that was even Michael Edwards bought his time and probably said just trust the squad to see what happens. And then they won the league, they've done da. They allegedly they got 250 million to spend this summer because of last summer's non-spend, and then obviously with everything else, sales that will come through the door, it's like Wirtz is not really out of question because Nunes is going to leave. Let's be honest.
You know what I would say with that flip reverse? I think Klopp would have had more pull than Slot.
Of course.
Yeah, because
I understand that. Klopp would have had more pull than Slot, but it didn't seem like he was backed. That's what it seems to me. It doesn't seem like he was backed because there were players that you know Klopp was after, and he just never got fully backed in it. And I mean, Jude Bellingham was one of them. Do you know what I mean? He literally did the groundwork, and literally at the end they sort of said, you know, put like Trent out there to do his thing. Trent to do his thing, but like, you know, it was kind of like, no, well, you know, we're gonna go on a different route now. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, we're gonna go on a different route now. That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to point I'm making. So there is a difference to what's happening then and to what's happening now. Yes, I would say that Klopp has more pull. You know what I mean? Klopp had more pull than that. But, you know, it's all different now.
Well, the German connection's there, obviously with Klopp a little bit more.
Exactly. I would have said Liverpool would have had a better chance with Klopp than they do with Slot. And that's no disrespect to Slot. I'm just talking about
first hand as well, yeah. Out of respect to Slot, though, is like, I'm not being funny, but Leverkusen went to Liverpool and they got slapped by Slot. So you can he could literally see on the pitch that, wow, this guy's
but what I'm saying here, Cass, is if you're looking at the,
I think what it is with my man, what it is with Wolfie, just looking for any little thing to try and sort of like make his point relevant, but his point is not relevant. You feel what I'm saying? You know, just looking for any little thing, you know, because like, you know, I mean, Cass is right, you know what I mean? And I don't often say this, but Cass is right. You know, Leverkusen came to Anfield and got slapped up. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, they've already seen, you know what I mean, like what he can do. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, and there's a reason why, you know, Frimpong wanted to join Liverpool. And that signing at the day is going to be made public in the next 24 hours. Do you know what I mean? So there is a reason why. Do you know what I'm saying? There is a reason why that happened. Do you know what I mean? But like, it just seems to me that sort of like Wolfie's looking for any little kind of like, any little point that he can muster up to say that, oh, you know, Liverpool ain't got no pull and anything like that. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying about some of these guys at the day that do these panel things and that, right? They have to look for the most outlandish things to say. Do you understand what I'm saying? They have to look for the most outlandish thing to say in order and then to build up build themselves up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Trudon said Wolfie is the biggest wind-up merchant. I don't know about wind-up merchant. I just think he can be a numbskull sometimes. You know what I mean? You understand? But yeah, you know what I mean? So let's go back to it before I play the Egal one.
Money and the fee being exactly the same. The next thing that I would be looking at if I'm Wirtz is the manager. Would I rather play for Pep or would I rather play for Slot?
But right now, yeah, you know what? That could be a factor, yeah. But at the same time, I feel like that right now with the new incoming managers that are doing bits, I'm not being funny, but
yeah, but he just, you see what it is in day, right? You see what it is in day. if he had that, if he had that thinking, if you got that thinking, yeah, well then what happens then? Then you would want to play for Slot because Slot just won the league. Slot's just won the league in the day, right? And in not having to spend loads of money, he's won the league. Do you know what I mean? Because all we did is spend it, and it was 12 million on Chiesa, and he's hardly touched the sort of like the pitch. He's hardly touched it, but yet in the day we've like we won the league. You understand? So that in itself, you see what I'm trying to talk about? How he's just trying to look for any little point that he can like muster up to prove his point. Do you know what I mean? But he's failing miserably. All right, let's see a bit more. I mean,
Slot's got Pep's number as it currently stands.
Doesn't matter. Pep
matter.
has more ball than Slot.
Yeah,
Man, don't even say.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course he does. But I feel like again, there's a lot of question marks.
And also,
yeah, I feel like really, and you can't really say where he will go because as like he's pointed out, yeah, that Slot's got his number. Slot's beaten Pep twice. He's beaten Pep twice, home and away. He's beaten him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, then at the day, sort of like, what would happen is Verts are going to look at all that. He can look at all those factors and think like, yes, at the day, Pep from Barcelona, and he's come over here. But yes, basically in the day, he's come over here and he's done things. He's been able to do stuff, right? But literally, and he's had a blank checkbook to work with. You know what I mean? And it's not a lot of people going to fail, right, with having a blank checkbook to work with, especially at night if they're like a half decent manager. Do you know what I mean? You understand me? Because look at like Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers went to Leicester, right? And after time of knocking on the door, he walked away with the FA Cup. Do you know what I mean? Now, can you say at the end of the day that Brendan Rodgers is in sort of like Pep Guardiola's mold? No, you can't. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the difference is that Pep Guardiola has been able to win sort of like, this cup, that cup, and then because he had a blank checkbook to work with, and he knows what sort of players to go for. You know what I mean? Look at he had Florent Torres at Man City, which in the end at the day went back to Barcelona and he's doing the madness. So really and truly, you know what I mean? He's had some players to play with. Leroy Sané at the day was one of the best young prospects, right? Best young prospects in Europe. In Europe, you know what I mean? He had the money to go and buy him. Do you know what I mean? So he's had money in the day to sort of like do exactly what he wants. Now, at the end of the day, right? This is what I'm saying. If if for instance at the day sort of like we had a situation in the day sort of like where if we had a situation where we had we had a situation where we had FSG giving Klopp money at the day, right? Number one, Klopp will still be here now, and number two at the day, right, we would have won more than what we won. People don't realize at the day what Klopp had to work with, When they talk about Man City, they talk about how great Pep Guardiola is. Yeah, he's had the money to do it. Pay a bit more of this before.
The track record shows, man. Casado, Lavia. Who was the other ones that they went in for?
Lavia, and that's another thing. People still keep on going about Lavia, right? Let me show you what is about Lavia. Yeah, let me make this screen bigger. Let me tell you something about Lavia, right? Lavia was begging to come to Liverpool. Remember that, Lavia was begging to come to Liverpool, but Liverpool wasn't really on it too tough because the fact that Southampton was asking for too much money, yeah. So they were really on it too much. But then they started to look at Caicedo, right? Look at Caicedo. then you know what happened with that the whole deal that fell through and this and that, yeah. And I'll touch on that. I'll touch on that in a minute, right? Yeah, that fell through. So what they did in the day is looked at sort of like Lavia as a second option. You know what I mean? But Lavia got wise to it because he's been asking, and that Liverpool ain't being responsive. Weren't responding positively, yeah. So then at the day, right, he said, "No, I'm gonna go to Chelsea." You understand me? I'm gonna go Chelsea. So Liverpool just said, "All right, then, cool." You know what I mean? Because they couldn't really say anything. So all right, then, cool. With the Caicedo thing, what I feel at the day with the Caicedo situation, I feel that Liverpool was just too nice. Because what is it? They won the bid for the player, yeah. And basically, in there, he was supposed to. The next thing that Caicedo was supposed to do is supposed to get in a car, drive down to London because he was in Brighton, drive down to London and do the medical. That was supposed to happen, yeah. But yet in the day, tell me why in the day Liverpool's waiting on Liverpool. Tell me why in the day Liverpool got talked into waiting for Chelsea. Sorry, got to wait for Chelsea. Tell me why that happened. Yeah, too nice. If it was me, I would have said, no, I'm not waiting for those guys. They lost out, mate. So get your client and they in that car down to London and let's get this thing sorted out. If you don't, then right, we'll make sure we'll sue you. We will sue you. We'll make trouble for you. Do you know what I mean? Well, he doesn't want to go. Well, not everybody gets what they want. Like get him in a taxi. Because it's funny how sort of like I said this at the time. It's funny how all of a sudden today, right? Caicedo was saying that he's always wanted to be a Liverpool player and be a Chelsea player, and he promised to go to Chelsea and this and that, right? When the whole movement was happening, you kept quiet, yeah, right? You kept quiet, and like when they offered, when sort of like I think Chelsea offered 80 million at first, right? Bright said, we're not interested in that. We're not interested in that, right? All of a sudden now, we went a bidding more and we was going to spend like 110 million to get this guy, yeah? And I said, yeah, man, you can have him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? All of a sudden now, Chelsea getting Brighton's ear and say, yeah, man, we'll give you 5 million on top. Stall it. You want to stall it. So, to me, at the end of the day, it's not worth bringing up things like Caicedo and Lavia, yeah, right? And then, you know what I mean? Bring up people like Virgil van Dijk. Yeah? Bring up people like that. Bring up Alisson. Bring up Salah. Bring up Mane. Mane, which was Mane and Dave that was wanted by Man United. He snubbed Man United to come to Liverpool. Yeah? Virgil van Dijk snubbed Man City and Chelsea to come to Liverpool. That's talk about big boy Paul. Listen, we run things, brother. Come on, man. Seriously, we run things, man. Don't let people have to know, brother. Then people have to know. Let me just say a bit more before I leave from around there.
That's my point, though. All those people didn't come to.
What am I hearing? What am I hearing?
All did what we done.
Let me take this. By the way, let me take this. I need this. I need a space. Clear the floor. Clear the room a little bit. Yeah. First and foremost, what likes are we on? 122. There is 370. Quickly. James Bradford says classic FSG with triangling in the background there. Yeah. And no, I can't see, but I can see. Yeah. But let me run these super chats as well quickly. James Bradford says classic FSG. We tried.
Yeah, man. I'm just gonna fast forward these super chats. Quick.
Distraction tactic with. Wait, talk quickly, Sems.
Yo, can you hear me?
Kind of. I don't know if it's connected though. Sounds a bit mad. Sounds like it's coming through his camera, no?
Yeesh. Right, one sec.
I don't think it's coming through your mic. But what's it once? You remember when I said, yeah, Wolfie does this thing where he betrays people. Like, there's a habit of it. Remember you thought you had a link up with Wolfie? Now all of a sudden,
you mean Wolfie, I thought you had a link up with me.
Oh, that then. Right. Now he's saying that you've got no pull compared to everybody else.
I don't link up with anyone. I just speak what I think is true.
I'm saying
I'm not going to sit here and say Liverpool are the pulling masters because we're not. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that.
Yeah,
but what I'm also not going to say is that this is a very exclusive party to be in with a chance of getting worse. And I don't think a lot of teams can be in that. So if we had no pool, I don't think we'd be involved at all. So to say we have no pool is a stretch, but I'm not sitting there saying we have the most pool out of some of these giants, because we don't. I think that's fair to say.
Thank you.
Yeah, we don't have the pool for most of these giants because it's financial pool. That's all it is at the end of the day. It's not no bigger club and like their club are the best. It's financially at the end of the day, right? That's the pool. Because they know at the end of the day they can go to sort of like these clubs at the end of the day, right? And they're gonna be put on like 300 or 400 grand a week. That's the only pool that they have. You know what I mean? You know, and Percy and Day. So like, if you want to go to a club and get 300 or 400 grand a week, yeah, but the club's got no direction, well then you're not really worth us going in for. Do you know what I mean? People want to come to us at me because we've got direction. We know where we're going. Do you think if that was the case, and then Frimpong would have gone to Man City. He would have begged to go to Man City or any of those clubs there, like Chelsea or whatever, because they know they've got money. But he's come to Liverpool because he knows that we've got direction. That's a fact. That's a fact. That is a number one fact. So sometimes I don't really get what Wolfie's trying to do. Wolfie's trying to work an agenda. You know what I mean? He's trying to work an agenda and spread propaganda. You know what I mean? Some of these people that they just be a propaganda they talk. You understand? Do you know what I mean? And they go on basis of like basis of situations that they don't really know the full story to it.
Exactly what I said once. I said those teams that I mentioned have more pool than Liverpool. I didn't say Liverpool have no pool, which is what Cass is trying to run.
No, but you wanted
Everyone's disagreeing with me.
How did he say it?
Yeah. No, he did say that, man.
I said Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, and United have more pool than Liverpool.
No, they don't. You know what? Arsenal ain't got more pool than us. Arsenal has got no more. They ain't got more pool than us, right? Man City financially, it's a financial thing. You know what I mean? You got to specify in there what you mean by the pool. You know what I mean? Arsenal ain't got more pool than us in the day, right? No way. Not financially, yeah, and not sort of like structurally. They've got no bigger pool than us, yeah. Man United in the day, they spent shitloads of money on players at the day, right? And the only player that I will take out of the team is Ugarte. I'm telling you, that's the only player I will take out of the team is Ugarte. The rest of the day can sit down. You know what I mean? You understand? Do you know what I mean? So they ain't got more pool than us. And Lenny Yaro and they, right? We refused to pay the money that they wanted, but these guys, Man City, did. You understand? They did. You feel me? So like, I don't know what you're talking about. I do not know what you're talking about. Again, at the day, we're talking shit. Talking shit.
That's what I said.
No, that's not all you said. Then you tried to say, so how do you feel? Like you wanted, like it's bad that they got more pool than you. That's what.
No, because you were running, but we won a title, and I'm like, okay, but you won the title, and they still have pull over you.
They don't have pull over us. Let's suck him on man. Get someone nerves. He does. He really gets someone nerves. He just talks a lot of rubbish, man. Sort of a lot of waffle. You know what I mean? Okay, guys. We are going to leave it there. Actually, let me play a little bit more of it.
So what are you saying to that?
No. That's not how it went. See,
that's
how you're lying. No, see. So what you wanted to know is why we ain't got no pool and we should feel bad because you said you're Premier League champions and they've still got more pool over you. So
should you not be
concerned?
No,
because the Zubimendi thing that was agreed earlier on. Like we weren't Premier League champions. We went for Zubimendi, Man City.
And also, when you think about it, I mean, Declan Rice chose Arsenal.
We haven't gone for Zubimendi now.
Declan Rice chose.
No. I'm not talking about men. I'm talking about now as champions. I still don't think you got the pull they have.
Yeah, but you said Man City. If you what kind of manager you'd rather sign for, but last time I checked, Declan Rice decided to sign for Arteta than Pep.
That's a London pull. There's all different kinds of pulls, man.
These guys are numbskull, man. They can't listen to this man there. You know, he just like moving the goalposts each and every time. He wants to move the goalposts. You know what I mean? Listen, don't let anybody fool you when they start talking about certain things. You know what I mean? when it comes to Liverpool. Financially, they may have that pool. They may have a better pool than us financially because like people and they sort of like, you know, want to like earn that money. Earn that money. And people want to earn like 300 or 400 grand a week. Fair enough. But if a person and they're gonna come to your club purely on the fact of like money, a money thing, like you know, that is their main thing. They don't want to make you champions, you know what I mean, or whatever. If they're gonna go solely on that, well, those are players that they're not worth having. Do you know what I mean? All right, guys. I'm gonna make a move now. Shall be back tomorrow. Okay. Shall be back tomorrow for 2 shows. Gonna do the watch along, and I think I might do a show before then. Do you know what I mean? So one second. Yeah, it's just my brethren phone. I'm gonna give him a call back in just now. So yeah, so I should be back probably for 2 shows tomorrow, but I'm definitely doing a watch along for the game against Man United and Tottenham for the big up Purple Alley, big up for the Europa Cup final. I'm definitely doing sort of like something for that. So guys, listen, love and respect, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, here you go tomorrow. So enjoy the rest of your evening. If you're gonna watch this on a replay, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, and also hit the notification button. Peace, and we're out of there. Peace. Take care, guys. Good night. Bye bye.